We're going now to go to the last presentation, which is going to be a double act by two Spaniards living in the UK. I'll introduce them in the order that they're going to be talking. First is going to be Jennifer Vela. She studied at the University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. And by circumstances in life, she ended up in localization and also in video games. She is now the leader of Spanish at Expedia in London. And the second speaker is going to be Curri Barceló. She studied at the University Autónoma of Barcelona. And again, by circumstances in life, she ended up in London. And she's been working as well in localization and particularly in the translation of video games, which again is an area that is very interesting, at least for me, seeing how many video games are around and how little we've taken up on teaching this area of expertise in translation programs. So I'll leave you the floor now, and then we'll have...
Thank you, Jorge. Actually, we were thinking on doing a presentation here, but after Joyce's amazing speech, we have decided that we want to actually go wherever we want to go, and we want to be closer to you, so we want to start the presentation from here. I'll try not to move, but I want to be closer. We want to be closer to you and not behind any kind of desk. And in our presentation, we would like to start with a story. And this story is something we have passed, and is something that probably many of you have passed through, or many of you will pass through when you want to make a choice on your career, when you know actually what you want to do in your life, when you know that you want to become a translator, and you don't know how to do it. And so how is this path? How is this? Actually, this is actually like a video game, isn't it? Where you have to choose your own adventure. You have to choose, you have to make your decisions and see if your decisions lead you to your future, what you dream to do. So we need to...
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to work. So this presentation has been done by Curri, myself, and Alain Delpien, which is the main organizer of the LocJAM. And as I said, we're going to start with a story about somebody who wants to be a translator, that decided to be a video games translator and decided to start his or her path. So many of you will decide to study maybe a translation course, a translation university degree, or maybe not. Maybe you have studied something completely different. But after some years of hope and sacrifice, you will begin your journey. You will begin your path towards the kingdom of video games, video game translation. And during that path, you will find different people in different fights. You will have to fight for your right to become a video game translator. And these people, they call it interviews, but it's a fight. And in these interviews, they will ask you, well, what are your credentials? Have you ever worked in video game translation before? And you and we have been in that situation before where we haven't. We don't have the experience yet. And probably our answer will be, no, that is what I'm here for, to translate, to ask you to give me the opportunity to be a video games translator. And again, many of you have already been in this situation, or you will be, and you already know what happens next most of the times. That weeks becomes months, months becomes years, your soul leaves your land, and with your one last regret, you think, maybe they will let me know soon. And your adventure ends here. But in life, as in video games, we can do different options. We can continue fighting. We can insert another coin, and we again decide to start another game. And when we again come to this interview, we come and we meet these guards, and they ask us, okay, where is experience? We have a choice. We can say something different, even though we don't have the experience that they're asking for. And we could actually answer something like, no, but this is what I can do. And how can you demonstrate your skills, your abilities, if you haven't translated a video game professionally before? Well, the way to do it actually is with contests like LocJAM, where you actually can translate a video game non-professionally, but being able to first test your knowledge, to allow other people, jurists, professionals, to see your skills and your abilities, to evaluate your skills and abilities, maybe win the contest, to learn in the process, and in any fight, in any interview, being able to show people what you have been doing. Show them that you actually been doing translation non-professionally, but that you can and that you have translated before, and show them your portfolio. So this is the idea about the LocJAM, and that is actually, this kind of experience is what allow you to change the end of the story and just to help you to get in. And then again, weeks will become months, and months will become years, and you will be now fighting just to keep up with the work and with the deadlines, and just being in your path to become a video game translator warrior. Congratulations. So, I'm going to leave the second part of the story to Curri, and she will explain a little bit more about this LocJAM contest. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, first of all, sorry to the interpreters. If I speak too fast, please just put a scare face or something so I can see you and say, okay, I have to slow down, because I usually speak really fast in Spanish, and I do the same in English. So sorry about that in advance. Yeah, so what is the LocJAM? Yeah, LocJAM, from Localization Jam, is basically a non-commercial and non-profit video game translation, which means there's no money involved, coordinated by the Team Glock for the localization SIG of the IGDA. IGDA is the International Game Development Association, so it's like the main association for anybody who is developing video games, and the IGDA Japan chapter. So this is basically a contest for about 8 or 9 days, between 8 or 9 days, to translate between 1,000 and 4,000 words, a video game that usually varies, which will be judged by a jury composed of over 20 major localization agencies in the world. Apart from that, there is optional free localization workshops all over the world, held by localization experts like Jennifer and I, game localization experts, which you can attend to if you want. Obviously, that's completely optional. And yeah, there's been so far 2 localization contests. One was held in 2014. This is a screenshot of the game, so you have an idea of what type of things we were doing. This game was based on the Republia Times, created for the Ludum Dare Jam in 2012. Ludum Dare Jam is, again, a contest to create a video game. It was a flash game, and it was the precursor of a very famous name called Paper Please. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a game that actually won lots of prizes. There were 2 categories. This is really important because we were allowed not only for professional translators to participate, but there was also another category for translation students, or even people who were translators, were not translators, but they were interested in translating and would like to also participate. There were 6 languages, fixed, so French, Italian, German, and Latin American Spanish, and then Japanese. French, Italian, German, Spanish, so European Spanish, then Latin American Spanish and Japanese. There were also a few prizes. All of these non-monetary prizes were studio tours in some of the companies that were jurors, game localization companies, so you could, see what they're doing and how they work every day. There was 1-year license for the Xbench translation tool, that probably many of you know about, given by the APSIC. 1-year license of MemoQ translation tool, which you probably as well, most of you know about it, given by the Kilgrave, which were the inventors. And these were the results for the first localization jam. There were 6,000 visitors on the website. So 6,000 people who actually were interested into this and went into the website and looked what it was about. There were 7 workshops held all over the world with over 180 attendees. The workshops were also free, by the way. I haven't said it before, but they were also non-commercial. With a total of 511 entries, which is like half a thousand people. It's quite a lot of people. The most interested were the Spanish. That's because we are very geek in video games. We love video games, so everybody, let's go for it. Were nearly 200 people who participated, both non-amateur and professionals. Then Italian, which they are also very geek. So yeah, we are same family. French, German, Latin American, Spanish, and Japanese. Then, of course, there was this year's contest as well, because it became so famous. People started asking, we like it, we want another one, blah, blah, blah. So they organized one this year. It was held at the end of February. These are 2 of the images of the game. This time the game was called Grandpa. It was a very small game created by Omar Benezi, Abdullah Hamed, and Bashma Mariki for the Global Game Jam, another game creation contest made in 2014. This time was a browser-based interactive story. Interactive story very similar to the one we actually explained you at the beginning, where you can actually choose different paths and your own adventure. So again, 2 categories, amateurs and pros, so anybody can actually participate. This time there were 2 more languages because we had many people asking, I want the contest to be my language because I want to participate. So it was done as well in Russian and Brazilian Portuguese. Then the prizes this time were diplomas, were given diplomas to people so then they could actually prove, once they are at the doors of the kingdom of the localization translation agencies say, yes, I have here the proof, I've been, there. And studio tours again into the companies. And this time, it was more than double of the people, the visits into the website. So it got a lot of people interested into it. 14,000 visitors. This time, 17 workshops were held all over the world, which I think is very important. So many more people in many more areas were able to actually profit from that. With over 300 attendees. So it's like from 178 you go for 300. It's amazing. And then there were 623 entries. Again, Spanish and Italian, of course, we are there. Everything that is free, we like it, so yeah, let's go there. Brazilian Portuguese was the 3rd one. French, Russian, German, Japanese, and Latin American Spanish was the last. And basically, this is what, Localization Jam is about. A contest is free, everybody can do it. We wanted to show you 2 examples of localization jams. On the right, so on my right, so your left, is the LocJAM London, which I held with the help of Jennifer here, which actually we did in the University College London, thanks to amazing Jorge Diaz, who actually let us the room for us to do it there. And we were, I think, about 30 people. It was quite a lot of people, well, more people than we actually expected. And we had lots of Spanish and Italian, French, and I think it was a couple of Asian people, so it was quite good. And then Localization Jam in Las Palmas, which was held by Jennifer at the University Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, which you can see as well, had a lot of, people wanted to go there. So it's pretty interesting to get those things pretty similar to what Chiara explained, or get workshops so people are able to get an introduction into these things. So people that don't know what localization video games is about, they can actually get an introduction to it. And yeah, those are our credits, end of game credits. The mastermind was Alain Delepien, which not only helped us to do this presentation, but he is also the organizer of everything. He's the alma mater of the LocJAM. He was the person who had the first idea, and he's been moving for 2 years, all without asking for any penny to anybody, which I really, it's my God. I don't know how he gets this God level, to do these things. Then you have there the Battlefield, the website where you can actually go and see what is the LocJAM about, what more information, whether all the workshops will be held and everything, and you can see as well our photos and our faces and more photos of the content of the workshops. And then there's two warriors here, you have here. They came fighting, for many years to be in the games industry as localizers. This is myself, Curri. This is your email if you want to contact me, and Jennifer's email if you want to contact her. And we want to thank the Project Aeon because we took the pictures from them for the story we explained you at the beginning. And I think they are really cool. So thank you very much, and thank you very much to everybody for coming here and for listening to our story. And we hope your adventure doesn't end here and you actually get somewhere very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have some time to take questions from the audience. But first, let me ask you, Curri and Jennifer, a question. Or maybe it's a comment. Maybe you have a solution for it. Because some of the funniest translation errors you can see are to be found in localized video games. And I wonder why.
Define funny. You mean funny?
Funniest, fun. Like
Really
strange and awkward translation errors.
Well, video game translation. Sorry. Video game translation is something that many people do as a passion, even if they don't get paid for it. So actually, there is a lot of amateur translation, people that they just take the game and translate on their own, and so probably it depends on how this process has been done, if it has been done professionally or just because they love the game, want to have it in their language, and they just do it because they love it.
Mm-hmm. As well, because like maybe 20 years ago, it was not normal for a video game to be translated. Most of them were played in English and Japanese. So most of the translations that were done, for example, from the Japanese games were translated by the Japanese themselves, who may or may not have a good knowledge of English. So obviously, most of for example, the famous "All Your Games Are Belong," all your games. Sorry, that's our line. "All Your Base Are Belong to Us." To me, is actually one of the most famous, probably, extended. If you are in the video games world, you know about this sentence. Because obviously there were non-natives translated into a non-native translation. So I think that's also a problem that many people does it. They just go, oh yeah, we have a Spanish artist in our team, he's going to translate it. I'm like, okay, good luck with that. So I think that's also the problem, that you get lots of people who are actually not translators, and not only not translators, but they don't know their own native language well enough to actually be able to do a good job.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you want?
Yeah, if I can.